So of course it's been very busy for me over the Easter period, working as I do as a church organist. So we're now on Monday. I have spent the last week really on this scrap chassis, this LCL Enterprise. Haven't quite got there. I've got everything except no transmitted audio. It's a long scrap set, but I do want to move back onto that. It'll be a very long video when we do it, but I enjoy putting together scrap chassis. But what we have got, we're back to paid jobs. It's Monday, and we're going to do a Fidelity 3000 base station. It's rather an immaculate one, so I think we'll put a bit of extra something on here. Okay, so there we are. Very unusually, it's got the hanger. Now this customer is a trade customer, so I will not be changing the mains plug, though it needs changing. So he'll certainly need to do that before it goes back to his customer. I'm just going to make sure it is safely wired. You just don't know whether it's his own personal property that he's had for years, or whether it is indeed a customer repair for him. It'd be helpful if I could find a screwdriver. Too many bits of that other set on here. Imagine I could do with some knobs. Anyone got some LCL Enterprise knobs? LCL Economy knobs? I've got one other scrap set and it's got most of it missing. Well, see what this fuse is. Yeah, that's fine, that's 3 amp. So it's what's called double insulated, so there's no earth. The cord grip's in place, but it isn't a plug with shrouded pins, so the rules have changed over the last 20 years or whatever. But it's safe enough for me to plug in. So as we've always said, these radios somewhere between 1.7 and 3.5 watts. And you think, oh, that's disappointing for a base station. And you're right, it is. Basically the same circuit as the Fidelity 1000, but with a different synthesizer. So you've still got the same lousy receiver arrangement, a good transmitted audio, and then you've got the Sanyo type of synthesizer instead of the general purpose Motorola one. So it's kind of better in that respect. You're supposed to set them up with a sweep generator, but since we've got a SINAD meter, we'll be doing that. So now I'm going to plug it in. We'll be running it off its own power supply, especially if I could plug it into the socket board. What on earth's on there? And it's come with the factory original mic, though I'll be looking for our standard replacement great mic. And we'll start off, apart from posing with it on its hanger, wherever the mic socket is. See if it works on PA. We've got a headphone socket at the side, a tape recorder socket which only records one side of the conversation, which is bonkers, but then so did the which was the other with the tape recorder socket? The grandstand. So PA, testing 1 2, testing 1 2, 1 2 1 2, and you have no control over the volume. It's not the only set to do that. So we'll switch it back off. We'll take some of these screws out. See high-low powers there on the back, because these are made by Great in Taiwan, and there's also a matching Fidelity entertainment radio in identical case, side by side, look absolutely great. Is it MR1, I think it is. We've got one here, we've shown them side by side, and that video's in our back catalogue still. So I'll try not to lose those. I think we've got to take these screws out. That mains radio's got a really large speaker in it and it sounds very nice. I was going to say it sounds great, but that would be a pun on the manufacturer. Great, wouldn't it? I think we've got to take the knobs off. One. Two. Three. Four. I might have to might have to wrap some string around that. Shown you that technique before. Actually, we can just as easily wrap desolder braid around it. Instead of going into the organ workshop for some string. You can wrap enough to actually pull it away from the body. Conversely, we may just be able to get a better grip. So I'll pull it and pull it with my fingers at the same time, and there we are with it off. Because what we don't want to do is putting a screwdriver underneath and forcing it upwards. Though I suppose with suitable protection you can do that if all else fails. And here we go with the channel selector knob. There we go. So the speaker will still be attached, and you can see you get a half decent speaker, which is at least 4-inch. That is loose, and that can be a microphony problem, so don't have capacitor issues usually with great products. If you've got to get underneath the board, absolutely pain in the what's it. You don't want to do that, it would put the service tariff up a peg. Right, we've got an aerial plugged in. We could plug our test equipment into the extension speaker socket. It's there somewhere. Now I don't know which one's the right socket. There's a row of 3, so without looking at the back, let's put it in that one. I don't know whether we need an earth yet at this point. So switch it back on. Now what do these knobs do? Because I now don't know. So not headphones, not PA, That's power signal. It's coming through the speaker. That must be extension speaker then. Channel 20. And on the signal generator, let's put signal, put picture in picture on. Select camera 2. 2779125. And let's look at what transmit is doing. Let's go to the main meter. And it's doing 2 watts. So that's fine. So there isn't a fault. If that's all it does, that is fine. 1.7 to 3.5 watts is what these do. Right, I'll go and get some paperwork, which may be okay. So we've got 2.1 watts on channel 20, and we've got 1.95 on channel 40. So I expect we've got 2.2 on channel 1, 2.15. Go back to channel 20, because we don't know what the power consumption is because it's on its own power supply. Low power, 160 milliwatts. Deviation for what it's worth on this test set. Wow. Oh, right. Well, that's out of scale. Wallow. It is, I've got to work this one out, 18 kilohertz. I bet that sounds great. Transmits on as many channels as it receives on. Yeah, right, okay. Someone's done something there. Let's see what frequency it's on. Test set's been on long enough for it to be meaningful. 2779078. So that one's pulling up, but certainly beyond 100, preferably to 125, 2779125. We don't do the VCO. We've got the method, but the set isn't going to be, it isn't problematic and it doesn't need adjusting. So the meter on transmit actually says 2.7, which is actually about right, but they have you set it so that it's in the strawberry patch. It's psychological that the meter swings across. Customers think it's a Mug's Eiffel, isn't it? It's a Mug's Eiffel. It's what the meter's about. It just moves a little bit, they're not doing much power. If it bangs across, it looks like they're doing more power, but they're not. It's psychological. So, on receive, let's put an S9, put the extension speaker back in, put an S9 signal on the test set, make sure the RF gain, whichever one that is, just make sure these are right. So that's tone about there, RF gain to full. So, to get S9, actually it's bang on, isn't it? It's more or less bang on. Well, it's ticked a lot of boxes, hasn't it? Do squelch. 100 microvolts as it should be. 1 microvolt. SINAD meter. Let's put that on. Let's have a look at that. Better put a bit more volume on for it to be fair. .77. .66. 1.35. Well, you know, all those figures apart from that deviation are fine. So we work through the, so it's a working radio. The reason I have all these service manuals is because I paid for them back in 1981. I wrote to every manufacturer of UK CB radios, and you had to write with a self-addressed envelope, and about a third of them had service manuals, and I had to write a check out and buy them. And some were £16.50 and some were £6.50 and some were £1.99, and Rotel sent them free. Right, we've got a lot of the ones which are circulating online is because I put all the manuals I got, I scanned them all, I put them on, what was it called, Scribed, and about 3 years, for free use, and then about 3 years later I couldn't find one of my own manuals, so I went on Scribed and they wouldn't let me download it because I hadn't joined their club. So I sent them an email and I said, hang on, I've got 200 manuals on your thing which are there for people to use free, and it's generating you so many thousand clicks a week. Oh yeah, well you have to pay. So I immediately deleted absolutely everything off Scribed, and then half an hour later they said, actually when we look into it we could have done that for you. I thought, no, if they're going to be controlling like that, they don't get any of my stuff. And the scanner I was using at the time, there's a mark on the platen about here, and all the ones with a mark on the platen have come from me. I find it funny sometimes. I did a Grandstand Bluebird and somebody says, I've got a link to the service manual, and it's from some other source, but it's the one I uploaded. Right, so this is the phase lock loop adjustment. We're not doing that, it's not necessary. All you do is set it for logic high. It's not like a gradiated one like you get with the Cybernet, both with the 134 and the 002F, or with the Uniden chassis. It's either on or off, and the fact that it's transmitting on 1 and 40 means it's right. So it's not the same. So 3.7 is the maximum they want it to ever be. So our transmitter L6, L8, L9, L10 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 13. That's part of the detector. 8, 9, 10. I think that's 11. Yeah. That says it's 6. That's going to affect the receive. Yeah. See how wrong that is? Well, somehow we have to get down to these, which are between the controls. And here we go again. Now I'm on. I've just all set there, and I've got on the wrong meter. So that's absolutely spot on. That's peaked. That's 3 definitely peaked. So we've done 8, 9, 10. And we've somehow got to get to we're at 2.3 watts. So that was L11, yeah, 11, wasn't it? So hopefully there's one under this screen plate. And then they want you to adjust it on L15. Circuit is, so that's on another page. I'm going to have to unplug it because I'm going to have to take this volume control out, which has got the mains on and off switch. going to have to put a rubber band around it because I need the hand to kind of pull back on this plastic. Just can't get into it. Okay, I've taken enough screws out to be able to get this plastic bit just enough forwards, hopefully, to properly get the tool in. So we're just a whisker away from 3 watts. Unkey this mic. Okay, let's see what we can get on other channels. 2.7, 2.8, 2.9. Better put all these screws back whilst I remember where they go. Need to do that one. I think it was that. Yeah. Got the one to get off the floor for there. Right, well let's put that back together, and it's going to do a little bit more power when it cools down because it was transmitting for quite a time there. So I'll tell you what, we'll put that on and off the switch back. It's nasty when they've got mains on them like that has. You can see why a lot of manufacturers, that the on and off switch on the front panel only does the low voltage, but what they ought to be then doing is providing a main switch on the back for safety. I don't like the idea of running these power supplies 24/7 whilst ever they're plugged in. I know in the UK all our wall outlets do have switches on them, but Not good. I used to have volume control spanners once, you know, and then they went metric. Oh, we've got that screwed to there, haven't we? So I've just gone to the trouble of putting that all together, and you've got to undo it. Okay, it's going to be that one there. I'll leave it at that. You can tell they've aligned this before they put the board in the case, can't you? Let's plug it back in again. Right, well, let's see what load power is at for giggles. It's now 160 milliwatts, which is exactly what it was before. But in actual fact, it's 165 milliwatts. Okay, I've done the frequency. That'll continue to go up a little tiny bit. Could well be 128 by the time the session's over. So that's where we want it to be. Right, well, we'll move on to, shall we do the receiver? No, we'll do all the accessories first. No, let's see what they say. Adjust the meter so that it says 3.5 watts with SVR3. So what have we got? 2, 4, 1, 3. So looking at it like that, but now with the preset we can't get to, put that screw back before it gets stuck in the works. Or before we can't put it in. You are kidding. It's somewhere. Yeah, you take the meter out and you get to it there. Right, key up. Better go on to full power and select the meter. So it's got to go up a bit. Let's set that. They're going to have you do deviation. We're going to wait to do deviation with a standard meter, standard mic, and then check with that one's about the same. They want you to do the sweep generator method, which we've shown before on the test bed behind me. So it's 3 and 4, and that's those two, whatever they think they are. Three, it's a poor show, this manual. Just check we don't need an earth. Sometimes we do. Oh, we're on the internal speaker as well. That's better. So let's go to the oscilloscope, see whether we can do something about that. 3. We'll just get that back where it was. Turn the volume down a bit. Turn the signal down a bit. Turn the signal up a bit. Right, front end. If you do the sweep generator, it's the right faff connecting to test points, and except there aren't any test points, you've got to find transistor such and such collector and all that, so it's very time consuming, about 90 minutes. So I would think now we're on L1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3 and T2. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3 and 2. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So start with that one. Drop the signal. That was spot on. I think that's where we are. Let's read off our figure. So for 12 dB, 0.37. For 10 dB, 0.28, 20 dB, 0.92. Might have affected squelch to full, still 100 microvolts, and the sensitivity on squelch. Put the attenuator on. Actually, not 5.3. We'll put 0.45 in. Well, that'll get more bleed over now, won't it? Set the S meter. So we'll put an S9 signal on of 100 microvolts. It's now being a little bit generous. What do they actually say? I mean, I know it's 100 microvolts. What do they say? There's no mention of it. No. No mention of setting that up. So, just turn the volume down. So which is it? Oh, here we go. I'm going to have to find the circuit diagram to find out what the S meter is. So it's SVR1. Which is here. And then you've got a preset squelch which isn't marked. So it's it's this process of elimination. So we did make a note that 1 was that one. So it's that preset there. So we want enough volume. It's a bit noisy. There we go. That's that. You can check the built-in SBR meter. Oh, that's great, isn't it, when they fly off? I forgot that happens. So which is SWR? We calibrate. So that goes to that position. No, it doesn't. It goes to that position. Calibrate is which knob? Second one to the end. So of course we should have a perfect SWR because it's on the dummy load. There's our calibrate position. Then you press reflect. It's not moving because it's spot on. So that's good. It works. I think we've covered everything now we've done that. All we've got to do is put it back together. What fun! You know what, while we've got it apart, there's a bit of dust on the bottom. I'm just going to clean that off for the customer because it's not something you can really do unless the set's in bits. I'm not going to clean the cabinet because it might end up with it being the bare plastic or something, knowing my luck. I'll just do the top of these push buttons as well. And the reason most of these are missing is when you press them, as you saw, they end up flying off like that. So unless you kind of put some glue on there, I'm not going to do that, it's not my set, or inhibit it from happening. When you press the, you've got to make sure your fingers are there to catch them. Lovely design, isn't it? But not one of the best sets by a very, very long way. But not, I don't know if it's, see, lots of the base stations out there were conversions, weren't they? Like the Murphy being a Spirit hand portable in a big box, the Comtel being a Cobra emergency set in a big box. What else are, you know, so unless you're onto the Unidens and the York 869 and the audio line base station, what were the other Cybernet ones? Of course, the Harrier CBHQ and the Midland 76900. So, you know, there's still a mobile board inside, aren't they? Then you've got the Grandstand base station, which is the Saruga offering, but they've got this great big can full of wax, and it makes them problematic. You know what? We lost a screw on the floor, didn't we? And it's not gone back in. going to be back on the floor in a moment. Right, the problem with it is that it's got a sealing thing in it, and so the nick is actually filled up with crap. If any of you fancy me playing some of the Easter hymns on the organ, I will do. But unless somebody says so, no, we don't mix church with this channel. I don't think I've seen them with all the screws in before. Right, so what I've done is to put those all in pretty loosely. We'll just tighten them up a bit, because they don't need to be stupidly tight. May as well unplug the aerial. Oh, we never did the deviation, did we? The key thing. What a fool. I'd be alright letting this go with about 20 kHz deviation, wouldn't I? Let's turn picture in picture off, it's not currently relevant. So plug into the test equipment behind me. SVR2. So that was S meter, that was the RF meter. We had low power. Deviation's surely got to be somewhere. Oh, I was going to think around here. Oh, that's 2. Yeah, because it uses, it's like an AM set where you have the audio IC producing the preamp. So it's that one there. So we turn back to there, it's the one nearest the power supply. Oh, it went to such a lot of trouble to put that all together nicely. So there we are. We'll set it with this mic and then we'll test it with a standard mic. Wallow, 1, 2, 1, 2. Wallow, 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 wallow. It's there. Right, try it with a normal mic instead of Fidelity mic. So we've got the standard replacement mic which says great on it. Wow, still a bit high. Wow. matter of lining the meter up is the key to this. Second time it went back together easier. I left that little walkie-talkie on all weekend on the bench, came in here and the battery thing's going pip, 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 and here we go again. Let's see if we can actually have enough charge in this to hear it. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. And the answer is yes. Right. Knobs. You know, don't ever buy one of these unless you want something collectible. They're very poor performance and lovely set to own. Good talking point with its styling. Great fun to try to play with from time to time. But this isn't, you know, your day-to-day use type of radio. I promise you that. We've probably had more of these come through, actually probably equal amount to the other relatively poor performing base station, the Murphy. One Niner Roger. There we go. Now you have it, the Fidelity CB3000 base station from 1981. Thanks for watching.